Hello from the Dukascopy TV studio in Geneva. I'm Daniel Schwenger. Alongside me to discuss the topic of impact investment is George Petty. He's Managing Director of Venture South, a finance company that is offering financial and social returns. George, welcome to the studio.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So Venture South is aiming to finance the missing middle, and you are targeting socially minded and impact investors. What is Venture South particularly offering to its investors?
So for our investors, we're offering debt or equity placements into the Swiss holding company or directly into our subsidiaries in the Philippines and Colombia. On a debt basis, we're raising capital for 2 to 5 years, and then equity basis would be obviously a longer term, more patient capital. In terms of the returns, we're offering 3 to 5% depending on the amount and the duration of the capital, and we can offer higher returns if people are willing to assume the local currency investments, so in Colombian pesos or Filipino pesos.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, again, investment for socially and financially means, and
yes. So exactly. So the financial, I think, that should be clear in terms of those returns. They're generally, particularly from a debt point of view, they're pretty steady Eddie, regular investments. We're paying the returns every 6 months. Very reliable, sure investments, no ups and downs like other equity investments. In terms of the social returns, there's obviously the knowledge that your funds are hopefully aligned with your personal values. And from that point of view, what we're doing, we're lending to businesses who are growing local economies, expanding the middle class, they're creating more jobs, boring stuff like paying taxes. And this is really how you reduce the inequalities in different societies. Coming back to growing the middle class and creating more stable societies.
Mm-hmm. And what sectors, technologies, and also countries are you investing in?
Country specifically right now, it's Colombia and the Philippines, and I see that expanding in the next few years. This niche of the market really from, call it $5,000 on the lower level to $150,000, $200,000 on the upper level. That's an underserved niche in many countries. There's a variety of reasons for that, but this is also the space in the economy where there's the most potential for growth and job creation. So we're focusing on that space. And in terms of what industry type, it's really quite varied. It can be in the service sector, it can be in the manufacturing sector. Direct agricultural lending, probably less, but the agricultural supply chain, yes. We're very interested in the agricultural supply chain and growing that. And also from a social impact point of view, that's where you're really able to create a lot of value added. Creating jobs in local and rural communities. This will help people to stay in the communities where they were born, where they were brought up, and reduces obviously urban migration as well.
Mm-hmm. And what are current examples of your work and investments?
Sure. Well, actually, I had just an email this morning from my partner in the Philippines looking at a $50,000 loan to a group which is exporting cacao and in the Philippines and the southern island of Mindanao. And they're looking for financing really so they could be buying from the local co-ops and farmers. They have buyers in Europe for the cacao seeds. But that's just one simple example. We have everything from software designers to lots of Christmas seasons. So we have lots of Christmas exports. Those were actually done back in really September, August, and actually our first Christmas order started coming in March of 2014, and we've been financing those for really since last March. Those are purchase orders. Typically, people the small businesses will get an order of $30,000, $40,000, $80,000, $100,000 sometimes, and they require the financing so that they can meet payroll and they can buy the raw materials so they can respond to that purchase order. And we're doing the short-term financing to finance that. Typically, there's a 6-month space of time between the receipt of the purchase order and when they're paid by their buyer, and we're financing that gap.
And how do you ensure this financial return on investment?
So, as a lending company, so what we're doing in the Philippines and also in Colombia, obviously, is we're lending out, and so we have a return on that. We have a return on that loan, and we're scheduling obviously our cash flow so that we can meet our fiduciary responsibilities every 6 months to pay our investors.
Mm-hmm. And what are your company's core principles when looking for new investment opportunities?
Well, if you're looking for investors, you want to be sure, of course, that you're aligned in how you see the company, how the growth of it, and certainly on the values of the business. As a financing company, you could quickly be turned into doing other sorts of lending. I personally would not be interested in being involved in payday lending or some of the smaller consumer finance lending. And so I would want to be sure that I have investors who are aligned with our strategy and our niche in the market that we'll be looking at. That's very important for us.
Mm-hmm. So what are new markets and projects for 2015 for Venture South?
Well, 2015 has a lot of promise for us. We've already lined up much of our financing, particularly in the Philippines, for the year, so we're pleased about that. Looking for expanding growth in Colombia. We have a portfolio there. We'll be closing 2014 with a portfolio of about $1.8 million. We'll be looking to raise $2 to $3 million, even up to $5 million for Colombia for the next year. And then we're also continually getting requests to use our model in other countries. So I'll be exploring opportunities for 2, maybe even 3 other countries next year. And then also relationships with other organizations. And these are specifically, we've had some requests from a solar company. And what they're really looking for is financing of their product. And so they want to focus on the marketing and the distribution and the production of their solar panels, and they require financing so that their clients, their buyers, will be able to purchase their product. Mm-hmm. And so we're looking at relationships where we can do that and hopefully help them to be able to grow their business, and I think we'll be able to provide social and financial returns for everybody involved.
George Petty from Venture South, thank you very much for being in the studio today.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for watching. Do make sure to keep clicking back on the Dukascopy TV website for latest updates and exclusive interviews. Have a great day and see you next time.